What's up, and welcome back to the Six Man Podcast. I'm your host, Phil Dunn. Got a great episode for you today. I sit down with Alex Krupinski, talk about his journey in basketball. Alex spent 4 years playing at SUNY New Paltz, and he's now getting into the coaching world. Before we start, just wanted to thank everyone for the support for the pod so far. Got a lot of great feedback from the first two episodes. Just a reminder, if you could please follow on Instagram at the Six Man Podcast. Looking to grow that page. Follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to the pod. Also wanted to say we're also now on YouTube. No video yet, but the audio will be on YouTube. If you could also subscribe, follow, all that good stuff on there. All right, let's get to that podcast with AK. All right, I'm here with Alex Krupinski, better known as AK. AK, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Phil.
So a little bit of background. I've been watching AK play for quite some time. He grew up playing AAU with my brother and against my brother and stuff like that. So it's super cool to see him grow into the player and coach and person that he is today. So super cool to have him on the pod. AK, I want to ask about how you first started playing basketball. What age did you start playing at, and who put the ball in your hands when you first started playing?
Yeah. So the reason why I started watching basketball was I had a little TV in my room when I was younger, probably like kindergarten, first grade. So it was probably like 2008. And I remember watching, funny enough, it was David Lee with the New York Knicks. Remember just watching him
Yeah.
play. And I don't know, it's just the one thing I could watch. So I started gravitating towards it. And that was like the same case with baseball, hockey, pretty much any sport. So
Yeah.
basketball, I started to play. I asked for a hoop for Christmas. I got a basketball hoop and a basketball. Started shooting around when I was like 5, 6 years old. And then my first time playing like organized basketball was third grade. I was in a religious ed class after school, and they passed out flyers for like a CYO skills division. I remember just like begging my parents, like, "Hey, can you sign me up? Can you sign me up?" Just nonstop, and then it just took off from there.
Yeah, I remember those old David Lee Knicks days. That was I was still young too. I was 10 at that time, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So I remember the Jamal Crawford team, Stephon Marbury, all those guys. Those were the first Knicks teams that I watched too.
Yeah, I thought that
Um,
Al Harrington was gonna like save the
yeah,
franchise. I didn't know anything about the game.
no, he was the man. Um, so talk a little bit about your high school experience playing basketball. You obviously had a pretty good high school career. And I know a lot of the guys that you played with in high school at Minnesink were guys that you grew up playing with, and you guys have been playing together since like you said, CYO, AAU, all that stuff. So what was it like playing with the same group of guys all
Yeah.
throughout pretty much
Yeah.
your youth journey in basketball?
So throughout the year, we would just be like playing since fourth grade. Told you like CYO. We had, I believe, four of our starting five like in my class. Like we all grew up playing since fourth grade. So it was it was different. So a lot of times, like a lot of basketball players, they always talk about, yeah, I'm jumping from like one team to the next, and you're playing with all these
Yeah.
different guys. But we kind of really just learned how to play like together, like learned how to play the right way, learned how to play with our own teammates, like, and the only problem was we were all kind of like the same build, so it was like whenever
Yeah.
we'd like develop and stuff, we would be doing like the same skill work. But it was really nice. I think that kind of gave us a leg up on the competition when getting to the varsity level, since also we got all five, we had a group of five of us. We were all called up to varsity as sophomore years and pretty much thrown into the fire. We had all of our upperclassmen, all the seniors, like 2 years older than me, they all decided to quit going into their senior year. So it kind of
Yeah.
opened up like a nice opportunity for us young guys to kind of go out there and get some reps. So
So you
that was
guys,
good.
you made it to the section title game your sophomore year, right?
Yeah, sophomore year.
What was it like
Yeah.
playing in that section title game, on a college court? If I remember, I was at the game. It was at Mount St. Mary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What was
the
that like?
biggest difference was I honestly don't like how they do like the section championships at college courts, because the college court is like 10 feet longer than the high school one. So
Yeah.
you kind of have like more up and down to run. And honestly, that game, we were outmatched. So our team, we were all undersized. We were a bunch of like 6 foot guards playing against a team with like 6'8" big, 6'5" like forward. So it's like
Yeah.
we were definitely outmatched. And then didn't help that our one dude who was 6'5", he got John Mack. He got hurt in our semifinal game, sprained ankle. So we were kind of outmatched that year, but the energy in any championship game, like we'll get around to it even in college. Like it's
Yeah.
just seeing all the people in the gym like rooting for both teams, like it's a great experience. Like
Yeah.
it's one of the most memorable experiences I've had playing the game.
Me, like as a coach and like other coaches I coach with, we always say like it's almost like a drug, like that feeling of like being in a big game, playing in front of like everybody you know. Like as a player, obviously, but even as a coach, like I coached in the section title game 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and just like the feeling of walking out onto the court was just like it's
Yeah.
addicting. Like you just want to chase getting back there.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so made it to the section title game your sophomore year. Your junior year, you guys were really good, right? You weren't you the one seed
Yeah,
that
we were the
year?
one seed, and then we got upset by the same New Paltz team.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of, they lost all their size, and it turned out they were the team with all like the 6 foot guards, and they
yeah,
still had their big, but it was
yeah,
just so we game planned like the whole like week before to go against this big guy because he kind of killed us last year. Just like it's pretty easy when you're tall, like the game. So
yeah,
first quarter happens, he ends up getting hurt. And then they just kind of go like 5 out, spread us out. Couple kids, couple of their role guys just kind of had like the games of their lives, hit like
yeah.
5 threes, talking to our stands, talking to the bench. So it was, I was never more like mad after a game since then.
So, so sophomore, junior year, you're like a starter. You're playing well. High school career is going pretty well in terms of like winning and stuff. Then
Mhm.
going into your senior year was supposed to be like your year again. You talk about like the tough losses. I'm sure you're like hungry to come back, win a
Yeah.
championship as a senior, and then obviously COVID hits. Kind of talk me through like what's going through your mind if you could kind of take yourself back to being that age and going into your senior year like with
Yeah.
all the question marks and not knowing what's going to happen.
So a lot of us, like kind of my age, I remember we were like kind of celebrating that we got like, oh, we have 2 weeks off from school, like not knowing
Yeah,
like the severity of it all.
yeah,
But I really like my whole mindset, like ever since March of 2020 was just like put my head down and work. Like I have nothing I have to do, no more school, no more like tests, no more nothing like that. So I was just like kind of like grinding, waiting for the moment, and then it just like November hit, nothing. December,
yeah,
January, like nothing. And then they finally announced that they were going to like have a season, but the season was like 3 weeks long, no championship. And it really just bummed me out because I was working like nonstop every day, like in the weight room, getting shots up, playing one on one versus like anybody.
yeah,
And it was just like it was a tough feeling too. And we got a transfer too that was pretty good from Long Island that year too. So we were just like kind of loaded up. Like we had everybody was kind of in like their final form, like, and we were ready to get it done, but nothing happened. No playoffs. Went 6-1,
yeah,
but doesn't really
yeah.
mean much.
That was you kind of answered the next question I was going to ask you. Like, I feel like when you're in that situation, you could either do like one of two things. Like, you could either like put your head down and work and just like be
Mhm.
ready for the moment when it comes, or you could kind of be like, I don't know if there's going to be a season. Like, I don't, not stay on top of like working out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would say like preparing for college basketball since that was kind of like a dream of mine. That was really like a big
Yeah, yeah,
motivating factor for me too, even if we didn't have a season because I was still gonna have to like go work
sure.
out and everything. And also I was hoping I was like 300 points away from 1K when I was going into my senior year, so that's like a little accomplishment that kind of like almost shifted my mindset a little more like it's not really about me. It's about like winning and everything, which I've kind of had like that mindset my entire life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a good segue into like the college stuff. So like obviously
Mhm.
I'm sure COVID affected like college recruitment and stuff. How did like your recruitment process go, especially once COVID hit?
So a lot of Division 3 guys, like guys that aren't like 6'8", like guys bouncing again Division 1 scholarships, like a lot of it matters. Starting off your junior year of AAU in the spring, which would have been like March, April, May of 2020, and that was just taken away from me. So I had I had like no recruitment, nothing like that. And then it was just tough. Like, I think it was a lot harder on coaches too than players because now like I'm kind of like starting to get into like coaching and stuff, talking to like my college coaches and stuff. They're like always like it's very big on who are you seeing? You got to see them in person. You got to see, oh, are
Yeah.
they lying about their height? Like, are they really moving fast? How is the competition they're playing against? So, a lot of it just like came down to like word of mouth, I'd say, from like the relationships I built with coaches I played for, like my head coach in high school, my AAU coaches, like word of mouth just around like the town and stuff.
So you obviously ended up at SUNY New Paltz. When you
Mhm.
first got to college and first started playing college basketball, what was like the biggest difference that you noticed between the college level and high school level?
Just like the strength, the size, and the speed of the game. Like, me, I was like probably one of the most athletic kids like in my high school league. Once I
Yeah.
got to college, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm one of the slowest, I'm one of the weakest.
Yeah.
Like it was just like tough. Like the bigs like went from being maybe like 2 inches taller than me to like 6 inches taller than me. The guards went from being like kind of short and scrawny to like now they're my size, like built like grown men. Like when you're playing
Yeah.
against college guys, you're playing against grown men. Like I was 18, like fresh out of high school. The more and more I found out, like I'm hearing, oh, this guy's 26 playing, this guy's 25. Like you're playing against old dudes that just play every day and grind nonstop. So there
Yeah.
was just a lot of like kind of like little tricks I had to learn and just like weight room stuff too.
Especially now, like with the transfer portal era and stuff like that. Like it's at every level in college, but like
Mhm.
it's definitely harder. Um, like especially with like the JUCO rules too. Like
Yeah.
not JUCO years not counting towards eligibility. Like it just makes it even harder for high school kids to be able to play college basketball like right out of high school. I mean, it goes both
Yeah.
ways. Like it benefits the JUCO guys. I don't think it's like good or bad necessarily either way, but I do feel for like high school kids that are
Mhm.
trying to play right away.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a trickle down effect. So you have the transfer portal affecting like D1. Like a lot of guys talk about it where it's like, oh, you could go D3, D2 for a year, or even JUCO, like, and then you go transfer up to D1. Well, those
Yeah,
guys that are at D1, they got to go somewhere else. So they'll
yeah,
kind of fall in line to Division 2, Division 3, which those guys are good. There's a reason
yeah,
why they went D1 at the start, but
yeah. Exactly.
you know.
Did you ever have like a kind of like a wake up call moment or anything like that? Like first practice or something you walk into in college where it was like, damn, like I this is harder than I thought it was going to be, or did you kind of know what you were getting into?
So our first week of tryouts, since it was coming out of COVID, like there's a ton of uncertainty. We
Yeah,
actually had tryouts that year, so there was like a few guys like on the block that were like basically our coach was trying out for the last couple of roster spots. But we were playing, I remember playing against we had two short guards, like 5'7" and 5'9", RJ and then Rylan Blondo. So those two guys, I'm thinking, oh, I have a size advantage on them. Let me kind of try and use that to my advantage. Every single time I would just like try and dribble like into them, I was just getting bumped nonstop, losing the ball. They're swimming around me and stuff like. And then also like we had another big. His name was Tyreek Frazier, freak athlete, great shot blocker. So just I remember first day of open runs where we're playing outside like it's middle of August, like it's my first day on campus. Everyone's like, oh, let's go play pickup.
yeah.
This kid's pulling from 10 feet behind the 3 point line. I remember I threw him a lob from like half court and I'm like, what am I getting into? Like like just like freak athleticism and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's definitely a different world once you get to college.
Mhm.
So you spent all 4 years in New Paltz, which is pretty impressive. Again, kind of like what we were talking about with transfer portal and stuff like that. Like I feel like
Yeah.
it's rare for someone to stay at one college for their entire career, especially because it's hard to play your first couple years.
Mhm.
And people usually get discouraged and try to leave, find a better fit for them. But you stuck it out all 4 years. Was there ever like a thought or a moment where you didn't know if you could last there, or was it always like I could be here, I know I could play here?
Well, actually, there was a moment. It was after my sophomore year. So, with the COVID and stuff and all the transfer rules, all the guys that were on campus during my senior year of high school, they got an extra year eligibility.
Yeah,
And for basketball, that was like everyone took that year. Every single person on my team took like an extra year. So after my freshman year, I'm like, all right, I'm playing. Like, I think I'm going to be good enough to play next year. Like, I think I'm already better than some of the guys on the team. And then sophomore year comes around. And a lot of times, like, the way avenues open up for you to get playing time is just guys leaving in front of you.
Yeah.
So nobody left going into my sophomore year. Like, I put my head down and like worked that whole summer and everything. Like, I felt like I got a lot better. And it was just like the playing time wasn't there. And when it was just kind of like spotty and inconsistent. So I was like, I was just like annoyed at it. Like, I was getting frustrated. I'm like, I knew I was better. I knew I was better than these guys. Like, I felt like I could do more than them on the floor, but I was just never really getting the opportunity. Like, I was getting like 4 minutes a game, 4 minutes here, 4 minutes there, like six
Yeah.
minutes here, like, and it's just like when you don't have consistent playing time and consistent like opportunities to show what you can do, it's tough to kind of like prove it to your coach because your coach is gonna go with the guys that he trusts them to win him a game.
Yeah.
And I haven't proved myself. Like, these guys have already like kind of proved themselves in previous years, just based on like situation and stuff.
What do you, is there like one thing that you think that you like really worked on or improved on that helped you get more playing time, whether it be like a skill or like weight room stuff? Like what do you think is one thing that helped you with eventually like increasing your playing time?
I think a lot of it came down to like talking to my coach,
Yeah.
like just talking to him, getting the transparency, like seeing like what type of player do you like envision me as? Like, how can I get on the floor? Like, being in his office like constantly, like every week, just being like, oh, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Which ended up leading to like just becoming a better shooter, just strengthening my strengths, like becoming elite really at one thing, and then
Yeah.
just like weight room stuff too. So it was a lot of just like speed, agility, plyometric stuff, and then just like upper body, lower body strength too. So like probably going into my junior year, I was lifting probably like 5 days a week at least, and then playing basketball probably like five also. Like,
Yeah.
never really had off days. Yeah.
So you guys won the SUNYAC your junior year, right?
Yes.
So your first 2 years, like what was were you guys like competitive? Were you guys like getting closer and closer each year? Like how did the championship come about?
So my freshman year, we were like we tied our I believe we tied our program record for most wins in a season,
Yeah.
and we were just like, oh, we're coming up. Like, New Paltz was kind of like a bottom feeder of our conference before COVID. Like, winning 5 games a year, winning like us going 500 was like a big accomplishment for the school. So every year, my freshman year, we beat Oswego State, which they were kind of a powerhouse. Like, my first 3 years here, because they were like consistently like top 20 in the nation. We were the
Yeah.
only team to beat them that year in the conference. Like, we beat them by one at our home floor. So we're up in Oswego. The one seed hosts the semifinals in the championship for our conference. So we're up there, like we're all hyped in their gym, like during shoot around game before our semifinal, and we're like, oh, we're gonna beat these guys. Nah, we lost by 40. I was like, I only played garbage time, and I think I was like our third leading scorer. So if you want to know how much of a beatdown it was, there it is.
Yeah.
And then my sophomore year, like, I guess I don't know what happened. We kind of took a little step back, even though we didn't lose anyone. Like, below 500, the only time I've done that in my career, and it was like kind of like same story. Like, we're playing, we play Oswego close one time, or no, we didn't that year. So we go into playoff semifinals, same thing. We're in their gym again, shoot around again. Like, all right, we're gonna get these guys. So we really like kind of like put in like a bunch of stuff. That was like a bunch of rules on how we had to play. Like, kind of makes me think about like how I think the Pistons had like the Jordan rules back in the 90s.
Yep.
So it was
Yeah.
like one of the things we did was we weren't allowed to run in transition. Like, the only way we could do that was if we had like a 1-on-0 fast break, like two on
Yeah.
ones, nothing like that, which we actually played them close. I think we lost by 4 that year in
Okay.
that game. So it was a really competitive game. Like, we could have had them given a couple shots, but, and then we go into my junior year. Junior year, we're playing like this is like our year. We had no freshmen. We brought in 4 transfers they had brought in like 2 20 point per game scorers.
Damn.
We're going into their gym, right? We lose to them first time by like 20. Second time we play them, we play them. I actually had a chance to win the game. It's a tie game with like 6 seconds left. I kind of like come off a go screen. I go and I shoot like a three with like 2 seconds left. Nothing but the bottom of the floor. So that game happened and we ended up losing in overtime. But like after that moment, like we kind of knew like we got them this year,
Yeah,
which came to our championship run, which we had the 2 seed, so it was nice not having to play them in the semifinal. And I believe they were fifth in the nation during
yeah.
during our game, and we came down from down 16 in like the second half, which was unheard of, like playing against those teams.
Yeah, it's awesome that it was always Oswego that you ended up matching up with in the playoffs and like kind of
Mhm.
having to work through like getting over that hill and over that challenge of finally beating them. I'm sure it was like a super great feeling.
Oh yeah.
What was like the environment in the gym when you're playing in the SUNY championship game? Especially like what you
So
talked about earlier as like playing in the high school championship game and now like you're in the college championship game.
so the way like since in high school is in a neutral like house, like in college it was a home game for them. So
Yeah,
they had like both sides of the bleachers filled up, just stands like it almost like it was just like a true road game. Like we probably had like 60 people there for on our side, which was a decent amount. Like they got loud, but it was
yeah,
just we were so outnumbered. So it was like every time they would make like a play, like it felt like everything could just go downhill with the crowd getting into it and stuff. Like the gym would be so loud. I always said there was like something different in like the air up there. Like every game, like you're more tired, like
yeah,
you're just more like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was really fun. Like and like when you watch like the game back, like you go and like I was in the moment. It's like you notice like it keeps getting quieter and quieter. Like oh shit, like they might actually win this game,
yeah.
the road team. But
What was So you guys win the SUNYAC championship. You play in the NCAA tournament for Division Three. What was it like
yeah,
playing in the tournament? Like, who did you guys match up against? Where did you go to play the game?
okay.
Was it a close game?
Yeah, so we went out to Cleveland. We played a school called John Carroll. They're a national powerhouse too. Like
Yeah,
same situation. So the way Division 3 works is they basically take the top 16 teams and they host the first two rounds of the tournament since they don't have all the money to like go get like neutral venues and stuff.
yeah,
So we're playing at John Carroll in Cleveland. This I always say this is the craziest environment I ever played in. So I think we had about 2,800 people at the game, like standing room only, guys hanging off like I don't know what you call them, like the kind of like the guardrails up top and
yeah,
everything. Like, and you could tell like it was a basketball school. Like they
yeah.
had like I think 5 or 6 D1 bounce backs, like back with the transfer portal
Damn,
thing we were
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
Um, it was just like it was crazy. I had 10-year-olds like getting in my ear talking like shit to me, like, dude, you can't even make a layup. Like you're
yeah,
this tall trying to talk to me. But that was another one. So there was one guard. His name was Luke Chacon. He was like a big player. He was like a big time player as a kid. He went to Youngstown State his freshman year and ended up transferring to John Carroll. So I remember I'm sitting on the bench, like we're going a little back and forth. Like it's like 6-6 at the time. This kid does like a double behind the back, blows by spin move behind the back into like a big man just going and punching it. And I like look over to my teammate on the bench. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what are we going against? So kind of the same story as our championship game. So we're down, I think we're down 20 at this point, like 14 minutes to go in the half. And we make a comeback. We had a shot to tie it with a minute to go and just didn't roll in. And it was just like sad, like afterwards, because it's like you're so close. Like you're not like
yeah,
upset, like you're just crying because like you just wanted to like kind of keep playing with those guys. Because that's when we lost a big core of our group. Like I think we lost, I want to say 5 seniors, and those are all like your guys. So
yeah.
it's like it sucks like seeing like, oh wow, you're never gonna see him at practice again. You're never gonna go into a game. You're never gonna have a road trip with like a bus ride and stuff. Like all those things. It was just like sad, but we were proud of what we did.
Yeah, you guys definitely accomplished a lot, and I'm sure it was like a
Mhm.
super cool experience, like winning
Yeah.
at that level with all those guys.
Yeah.
So obviously, like your career at New Paltz is over now. transitioning like post playing career, I know like you have like the training thing. Do you want to talk a little bit about like your training company and what you're doing with helping like the next generation of kids coming up
Yeah.
playing basketball?
Okay, so my company would call it up the standard basketball because you want to up the standard. Like I feel like the standard's set too low, like people are too happy with being average. So
Yeah,
kind of like the name kind of was thinking about it in my room one day and I was like, oh, kind of works out. So I train like kids all throughout like college to like first graders, second graders. And a big thing for me is just kind of like teaching like how to play the game correctly because I feel like a lot of like skill development and trainers they're focused a ton on like your bag, like your ton like your one-on-one work, like your handle and everything, like oh how
yeah,
well can you get into this shot? Like I feel like a lot of the game like for me, I never thought I was like an extremely skilled player, I wasn't extremely athletic. So I really thought that a lot of my game came down to IQ, making it as easy as possible. So I kind of do believe in like you do have to kind of work on your bag a bit and stuff, like just to build confidence and stuff, just so you have it. I saw
yeah,
something and it's like you kind of relate it to like a black belt in like MMA or whatever. Like they're trying not to use it, but if they have to use it, like they have like a bunch of different things that they can do. So a lot of just like kind of teaching like, oh, so in a game like what you're looking for is like a long closeout. You're trying to generate those. You want to have a shot just so like they have to honor it. And it's like if you could play like going to the basket and shooting the ball, like you're unguardable as long as you add
yeah.
like a little mid range game and stuff.
I agree with what you said about like the whole like bag thing. Like it is
Mhm.
valuable to have, especially once you get to a certain level. But I feel like especially with young kids, like just learning how to play basketball or like just developing into players is
Mhm.
like your fundamental game has to be sound. Like I always preach like playing off 2 feet, obviously
Yeah.
like being able to shoot and stuff like that. Because like if you don't have that foundation, then like all the other bag stuff doesn't really matter. Especially because like especially at the high school level, like the area we're from
Yeah.
you really don't need all that to have a successful high school career. Like I always like talk about like my brother when I'm trying to like coach kids up. Like my brother doesn't
Yeah.
really have a crazy bag. Like he just knows what he's good at and like perfected it to the best that he could, and you could score a lot of points doing that. So like
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I'm always preaching to kids.
yeah, I mean, he gave us like 37, I think, my senior year, one loss. So
Yeah,
I know he has one of those games every few
yeah,
years. But
yeah,
that is definitely like a great point. Just like kind of like just simple stuff like being able to play off two, getting stronger, getting quicker, and just like being able to do stuff faster and more
yeah.
consistently.
So then on top of training, you're also like transitioning into the coaching stuff. Obviously, I've seen you like coaching at the high school level and summer league and stuff like that. And now you're
Yeah.
also going back to New Paltz, your alma mater, to coach this upcoming year. Talk a little bit about like what you're looking forward to most in coaching and like what your role is going to kind of be at New Paltz this year on the coaching staff.
So I think a big thing for me, like coaching wise, is I really want to like kind of like bridge the gap between coaches and players. So my last 2 years, especially at New Paltz, I thought what we did was really special because it was like it wasn't like the coaches are thinking and then they're just telling the players what to do. Do it this way, or like you're done.
Yeah,
So I think a big thing for me is just kind of like coach to player communication. Like even if it's like you're talking about a coverage or something, or thinking about a counter to a play, like just voicing like coaches and players, like hearing their opinions and stuff. Like, oh, this works, this doesn't work. Like
yeah,
and just like kind of like I want to like take advantage of just like being able to work with like college players, like very skilled players to like kind of work on their game a bit, like simplifying the game while like learning like okay, this is your move you're going to get into and then playing off it. So I think there is a big kind of like I don't know how to put it, like kind of like a gap to gain like for New Paltz and just like kind of like just skill development
yeah.
almost and just like learning getting shots and stuff.
I love what you
Oh,
say about like bridging the gap between coaches and players because like obviously as a coach like you see what's going on the floor, but being on the floor as a player, you're obviously seeing different things. So
yeah.
for there to be like an open line of communication between players and coaches is definitely like super important. So
Mhm.
I like what you said about that.
Yeah.
Um, Last question I have for you: if
All
you could go back in time and give your younger self advice in terms of basketball, what would it be?
So, I would say, I mean, I have a few things. One thing is just like kind of like I neglected like my handle kind of like when I was in middle school and high school and stuff because I actually grew up as a big man. funny enough. I like kind of
Yeah.
played like 1 through 5 my whole life. So I think just like being able to handle the ball, like not necessarily being able to like I said before, like kind of like going like double between the legs and then like hezzy
Yeah.
or something, like just learning how to handle the ball, how to deal with pressure, and just like how to move efficiently with it. Because the one thing that I really like teach kids now is like kind of like dribble step timing. So it's like you're kind of like just like always putting the ball down with like your inside foot. And then that kind of like gives you like freedom. So you're almost like moving more like a football player or a soccer player or somebody that's just like doesn't have to worry about dribbling at the same time. Because I see a lot of kids that just like kind of like they fumble the ball and stuff. Like their steps are off. And it's just like they're not moving like they can be as an athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's like a
Um,
rhythm thing almost.
yeah, literally, it's just that. And you see, like the kids that have it when they're young, they're really good when they're young.
Yeah.
So, two more things I would say. Like another one is just going against better competition wherever I can. Like I tried to seek it out in our area, and our area doesn't have like a ton of like great hoopers. Like there are definitely a lot of like good hoopers and stuff, but like even if that's just like going down to like North Jersey or the city or somewhere, just like playing against different guys that might just be more athletic and stuff, like being better, like playing against better guys. And because that's where I really like felt like I had the development the most was like when I went to gym rats and we had like we would have TOA, so we'd actually have like a bunch of guys on scholarships and stuff, a bunch of college
Yeah.
players and stuff like that, and I feel like I learned a lot from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. That's definitely like
Yeah.
advice I would give to kids too. Like you don't want to get like stuck just playing against the same kids all the time, like kids that you know and kids that you see every day. Like going and kind of expanding out and playing against better competition is definitely beneficial,
Yeah.
especially when you come back to this area and now you're used to playing against better comp. Now you come back here, the comp isn't as great always. Can definitely benefit players for sure.
Yeah, like they
Um,
say, kind of like big fish in a small pond, like
exactly,
go out in the
exactly.
ocean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, AK.
And all
Thanks
right.
so much. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you hopping on the pod today.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, thanks for having me, of course.
Yeah, of course, dude. All right.
All right, man. Take care.
Peace.
That's it.
All right, that's it for the pod today. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you liked the interview with AK. If you could please follow on Instagram at the Six Man Podcast, like, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff on whichever platform you listen to on. We'll be back next week with another episode. Thanks.